Welcome. This is the Late Late Show with BT, where views with security and law are being provided to the public. We are using the beat, and that's all of the beat stations. And we're going to begin with news and topics. Erica Nicole Kendall. The tabloid version of your publication, which was animated for additional effect, was impressive. Cheers to you for covering such a critical discussion. You can check out Kids book, Egg and Spoon by Gregory Maguire. This way, Egg and Spoon. Donna Gentle from Tehachapi, Georgia. I cooked up the cheesy hash brown and kale torch shortcut dinners of September 2014 with a few changes. And it looked like this. So that's a cheesy hash brown and kale torte. George Lane, San Diego, California. Our white identity. The article says Latinos aren't the new people on top who will oppress people beneath them. Nicole Frontagiallo, New York, New York. I don't really know why my Hispanic side was put on the back burner, but I don't plan on being part of that astounding statistic. Virginia Soul Smith. Pros who put babies to bed for a living reveal the insider strategies that really work. We asked 4 of the country's most seasoned coaches to pull back the sheets on their snooze-inducing wisdom. Often it's the dad who wants the mom to stop nursing the baby to sleep, while the mom feels in her gut that the baby still needs nighttime feeds, says Kim West, the Annapolis, Maryland-based author of Good Night, Sleep Tight. I've also had scenarios where mom wants to get on a better schedule, but dad really can't take the crying, says West, aka the sleep lady. Whatever the reason, sleep coaching tends to be much less successful when one parent is saying, "You created this problem. Now fix it." Instead, book a sitter or ask Grams to watch your baby while you come up with a plan you can both support. That was for number 1. Number 2, not every peep your baby makes at night means he needs to be rocked or fed. Your baby's sounds might just mean he's mildly frustrated or settling in his sleep, and checking on him can make the problem worse, especially if he wasn't awake to begin with. After the baby turns 4 months old, we teach parents to take a breath before deciding whether to go in, says Jennifer Waldborough, co-founder of Sleepy Planet, a sleep coaching service in Los Angeles, and co-author of the Sleep Easy Solution. We work on gradually spacing out the soothing until the baby learns to do it on her own. And that's with 3. 4, hold off on sleep training until baby is 3 months or older. Sleep experts advise, see how to sleep train on the next page. And this is an American Baby. But you can create a healthy bedtime routine and nap time rituals from day 1. Dim the lights 30 minutes to an hour before bedtime to help bring your baby's cortisol levels down. Advises a sleep coach in Westport, Connecticut, known as the Baby Sleep Whisperer. Then give your baby a bath and her last few of the day, followed by a bedtime story and a song. Number 5. Understandably, a lot of my clients don't want to put their child to bed as soon as they walk in from work. They want to be together. For a 3 to 6 month old, the sweet spot for bedtime is quite early, about 3 to 3.5 hours after he woke up from his last nap of the day and no later than 7 p.m. 6. Daytime sleep leads to better nighttime sleep. I encourage parents to let their little one nap during the day because an infant who is overtired often can't settle down come bedtime. West says, this sounds counterintuitive. But think back to how wired you may have felt after pulling an all-nighter in college. 7. Knowing your baby is eating well during the day will give you the confidence to know that she can go back to sleep at night without your having to nurse her or give her a bottle. If you're breastfeeding, it's important to make a distinction between nursing from hunger and nursing to soothe. If she's often using your breast as a pacifier, it could be time to consider other soothers such as rocking, patting, and shushing. 8. Parents call me in a panic after we work together because now their baby is teething or has a stuffy nose, Wes says. Giving your baby extra comfort for a few nights won't undo your hard work, as long as you go back to your routine as soon as she's better. Remember that your child has proven she knows how to sleep well prior to the disruption, which means she has the ability to get back there. Now let's go to how to sleep train. You can teach baby to go back to dreamland on his own at 3 to 4 months, our pro said. How is that? The best time to sleep train is when you have at least 3 weeks of normal routine and no big transitions in your schedule, says founder of Sleepy on Hudson. Use a weekend to sleep train so you can nap. By Monday, most parents are already in a better place. Gradually increase the length of time between each check by a few minutes, waiting up to 15 minutes between checks for a 6-month-old. Take some deep breaths and tag team with your partner so you both get a little rest. Now back with number 9. The parents who come to me often feel judged by their family, friends, even doctors, and total strangers. And 10, banish that feeling and remind yourself that teaching your baby to snooze for long stretches at night is good for him. And we're going to go to where we're at, 106.5 The Beat out of Virginia. One 106.5 The Beat. And we're back with Jessica Hartshorn. High chair to table seat. High chair to table seat. Rear facing car seat to booster seat. Rear facing car seat to booster seat. Crib to bed. Buy a full-size bed frame and use the crib's front rail as the bed's footboard and the back piece for the headboard. Crib to bed. Heather Muir, Beauty and Style. Our super simple, fast beauty fixes will have you loving yourself in seconds. How? Crest 3D White 1 hour Express White Strips. Pump up the volume with blow back time, which boosts fullness. Before you walk into your office, undo the bun, shake it out, and voila, textured waves. And for 20 bucks, Stylo Smudge Stick Waterproof Eyeliner in Cobalt and Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Psychedelic Sister. That's right, Psychedelic Sister. The newest obsession for the beauty obsessed, Mimi. Beauty now streaming 24/7. Join Mimi and join something beautiful. MimiChatter.com. Erica Seller. Together, we've paired up-and-coming inventors with experienced mentors to walk them through everything from developing a prototype to brokering big money deals with retailers. And who do we have? Tracy Washington Bagley, 52. She was particularly struck by the words of one dad whose daughter was snatched from a convenience store and later killed by her kidnapper. You can never be too careful. Though the basic idea is not new, Bagley's interpretation has an exciting twist. Rather than bulky plastic, cheap-looking contraptions, the bracelets are stylish pieces of jewelry that any woman would want to wear. Bagley is not going to have to spend a lot of money to get this made because the technology already exists. This is going to be my legacy, what I am going to leave behind, says Bagley. I may have won several awards for working in TV, but I'd like to be known for something that helps people. Six steps to becoming an inventor. However, if your family cannot invest or is not willing to do so, look into a small business loan through your state or your local bank. You will need to become a good salesman to seal the deal with a big retailer. You put the fancy shoes on that bad boy and the prettiest dress, and you work it. That's Erica Studer, is a New York-based writer, editor, and author. Still with news and topics. And we have fun finds, $20 and under. 20 bucks. Go Be Lovely Lavish Hand Cream. And it's also 20% off if you enter WD20 at checkout. Butterfly Trinket Box. A treasure chest. And it's kind of cute. 20 bucks and under. Lip Soother. EOS and Rachel Roy limited 3-pack lip balm spear collection. Millennium bracelet, 20 bucks. And enter WD14 at checkout for a price break. And that was 20 bucks and under. Joy Bar. What to eat at any age. Your blood cells require iron to make hemoglobin. which carries oxygen throughout your body to keep it energized. And that's with iron. High fiber foods give you a long lasting dose of oomph because they digest slowly, allowing for a steady release of energy into your bloodstream. Low estrogen can lead to a higher risk of bone loss, but calcium and vitamin D, the latter is necessary for your body to absorb the former, keeps bones strong. Feel better longer. Certain natural chemicals in foods and spices can minimize aches and pains associated with everyday wear and tear, as well as arthritis, because they have inflammation reducing effects. Joy Barr, MSRD, is a nutrition and health expert for NBC's Today Show and the founder of Nourish Snacks. Oh baby, this year 7 Women's Day staffers gave birth to the most adorable group of babies. And here, of those 7, is Jeremy, the son of the senior web editor. Awesome. 30 Days of Black Beauty, Andrea Jordan. 30 days. A leather turban twister, only $455. What else in those 30 days? A cute turban. Pop it on and keep it moving. Tig Bolet barrettes, $55 each. "30 Days of Black Beauty." And now let's get up front with Aaron Robinson. At the 24 Hours of Le Mans this year, Porsche PR escorted me to the breakfast table of Hurley Haywood, who won his first Le Mans back in 1977 in a Porsche 936. I would say to the radio, hey, next lap, I'm going to try downshifting before that apex instead of after. And the voice would say, sounds like a plan. Instructions from the team manager go back to the chalk and signboard. But more than ever, racing at the pinnacle is a group endeavor, a fact accentuated by the 3 leading teams at this year's 24 Hours. For Audi, Porsche, and Toyota, the drivers didn't just keep an ugly car between the lines. They served as the in-car representatives of the hordes of support staff in the pits, which with better telemetry and capability for on-the-spot analysis are exerting more and more control over the decision-making. New fuel consumption and tire rules have only added to the litany of instructions from the pits, and on-air sniping had become the hilarious sidebar to the 2014 F1 season. Leave it to the FIA to address problems created by too many rules and with another rule. The last one bans any message that appears to be coded. Astronauts were told when to eat, when to sleep, when to burn, when to turn, and ultimately where to walk. That's up front. Aaron Robinson. And now we're going to a little seventh heaven with Don Sherman. So after our initial fling earned this 5-door hot rod, its 2013 10 Best Award, we signed up for a more meaningful relationship, a 40,000-mile test, ultimately lasting 13 months and traversing more than a dozen states. A sturdy aluminum and steel unibody armed with a bossy twin-turbo V8, a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic, and Audi's Quattro 4-wheel drive system give the S7 stellar performance. Our first test of the butt-warming Audi brought home heart-warming performance results, 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds, a governor-limited 152 mph top speed, and 0.88 G cornering grip. Overall, we beat the EPA's 20 mpg combined rating by 1 mpg, proof that there is hope for sports sedans with up-to-date engine technology. In rants and raves, Eric Tingwall, the engine's restrained demeanor disappears when you stomp the throttle, and this turbo V8 wakes from its slumber. Jennifer Harrington, this thing just floats over road imperfections, but it is emboldened. And back to seventh heaven, and a nifty driver info sensor between the tach and speedometer delivers trip, temperature, and telephone data without the loss of crucial miles to empty and ETA information. Our S7 log also bristled with way too many gripes for any $90,000 car: excessive wind noise, pavement slapping sounds over expansion joints, no cool breezes through the seat upholstery, and door handles that can pinch unwary fingers. The binding was a minor irritation, but the lazy throttle, lurching during around turn up and down shifts, and the occasional rowdy rollout from rest are unacceptable. And we're going to go back to the beats. Well, let's go ahead and leave, Richmond, Virginia, and check out St. Louis. Well, that's the wrong St. Louis. I found the Bull, St. Louis. So that's not where we want to go, even though we can, it's relevant, but we're sticking with the beat with 100.3. Still, St. Louis. $100.3. That's what they're sounding like, right? In St. Louis. Don Sherman. So, without risking core virtues of dependability, comfort, and value, Toyota has blessed the 2015 Camry with a major freshening. It gets better and somewhat less contrived inside. The bounty of electronic assist now includes lane keeping, automatic braking, rear collision alert, radar-based cruise control, and automatic headlamp dimming. Control knobs and labels are oversized for the bifocal set. Tapping the appropriate center screen icon will reset the clock or sync a smartphone. Toyota engineers based near our Ops Center added 22 spot welds to stiffen the body structure, as well as a thick layer of foam insulation under the carpet. They tweaked the electrically assisted power steering, the suspension calibrations, the brake booster, and the stability control system. We were surprised to learn that 83% of buyers select the base 4-cylinder engine. The all-season tires howl early in the game, the suspension surrenders to body roll, and the transmission automatically upshifts when you crowd the red line. We hope that the engineers are furiously assaulting our semi-secret back roads with next-generation prototypes in pursuit of a more vigorous XSE model capable of running with the best midsize sedan rivals. And that's Don Sherman. A visual. So we're going to get up front with Aaron Robinson. This is a prestigious international event, so I prefer to wear a suit, which is a multi-layered wool garment from another era, before the weather apocalypse, or whatever we're calling Sunday afternoons in Paris these days. Volkswagen Group, which now encompasses no fewer than 8 passenger car brands, 3 truck brands, and 1 cycle brand, holds a party on the evening before the press day dubbed Group Night. After the Passat GTE, Lamborghini Astarion, and Porsche Cayenne Cayenne SE Hybrid had motored silently across the stage, VW CEO Martin Winterkorn got up to give what I expected would be the usual spiel of corporate happy talk. Instead, Winterkorn launched into a startling plea to the European Union and Brussels not to threaten the contingent's industrial base by discussing even tougher carbon dioxide emission standards before the year 2020 standard already adopted is in force. But the escalating costs of government mandates are likely to claim victims. He is implicitly talking about Fiat Chrysler automobiles and PSA Peugeot Citroën, both of which are considerably weaker than VW. Of course, Winterkorn and his colleagues have a credibility problem in that the relationship between government and industry has since the 1960s followed this pattern. Government demands something the industry screams that is impossible, and then it delivers exactly what was demanded. Winterkorn and his colleagues are being squeezed between governments that fear global warming and the public that isn't yet ready to pay for solutions. In the hot halls of Paris, the industry worried that it's being told to risk its own destruction to find the answers. Road tests and Robinson. Whatever satisfaction an engineer derives from his or her ideas becoming realized from seeing mere talking drawings evolve into a finished product must increase tenfold in the Corvette program. Once an idle afterthought in the mayhem of a bankruptcy and now a full line of highly acclaimed vehicles. However, the Z06 completely fulfills its mission to be a super Corvette. Z07's run, flat Michelin Palette Sport Cup, 2 summer almost slicks replaced the base run flat Michelin Palette Super Sports and are, to borrow from Mark Twain, the difference between the lightning bug and the lightning. Back to the test numbers. Holy crap. This is a natural, instinctual disappointment, conditioned by the expectation that real sports cars have sticks, mounting evidence to the contrary notwithstanding. We drove both the manual and the automatic Z06 and feel that the stick, with its notably soft and seamless clutch take-up, is still the best choice. Chevy's choice of wild Bucking Road Atlanta as a launch venue proved both wise and a bit brave. This fast but highly technical track let the Z06 stretch his legs all the way up to 150 plus mph on the back straight, while also taxing its suspension and grip over crest and curbs. The Z06 immediately showed itself to be a Corvette. Plus more speed, more grip, more hunkered down stability at a triple digits, more noise, and a lot more stopping power. Muffler flaps that bang open under hard acceleration or stay open in track mode release the crackling furries as you make the jump to hyperspace. You do have to be competent before you're attacking turns with anywhere near the Z06 peak grip, especially on the gluey Cup 2S. A visual. But the newest vet is a complicated toy that will take many, many hours to play to fully reveal itself. MG's motto used to be safety fast. It applies much better to the Z06. The Z06 isn't merely swift. It's designed specifically to make you a better driver through the stair-step configurability of its controls and its onboard learning tools. We tested both the automatic and the manual Z06, the latter returning numbers lower than expected. The base 7-speed coupe 3,559 pounds did a 60 mph strafe, a quarter of 3.4 seconds, a quarter mile clobbering in 11.5 seconds at 126 mph, skid pad laps averaging 1.12 Gs, and a stop from 70 and 139 each. So let's talk about the best car seat. Gotta love the longevity, but the greater the weight limit, the wider and heavier the seat will be. These rear-facing seats have two parts, a base that you secure to the back seat and a handled carrier that you snap in and out of the base. If your baby falls asleep in the car, you can release the carrier from the base and take her with you without waking her. Never leave her unattended. All infant-only seats sport the gold standard 5-point harness to secure your sweetie, 2 shoulder straps, 2 hip straps, and a crotch strap connected by 2 buckles. Some also have an indicator to show that the carrier is clipped correctly into the base. And that's how you pick the best car seat. What about the best crib? Your sister-in-law may be eager to get rid of hers, but the drop side crib your niece slept in doesn't meet the latest safety standards. Most styles are available in both low and high cost versions, so you can find a match no matter what your style is. If one crib is easier for you to reach into than another because it's better in proportion to your height, you'll definitely want to factor that into your decision. But those made from pine, which is softer, tend to scratch more easily. Something to consider if imperfections make you nutty. But buy the firmest model you can to reduce your baby's risk for sudden infant death syndrome. The best stroller. Dad comes in and wants the big all-terrain stroller. But mom is 5'2" and weighs 106 pounds. A spokesman for Bye Bye Baby. Keep in mind who will use the stroller, where, and how often. The model that's best for loops around the mall may not be best if you plan to walk your baby to daycare daily. Umbrella strollers don't recline much, but that's less crucial for older babies. Distinguished by 3 wheels and large air-filled tires, joggers or sturdy all-terrain strollers can help you shed the baby weight, but they're heavy. No fun to lug in and out of your car. Always use the safety harness and never leave baby alone in its ride. 100.3, we're back in St. Louis. Savannah, 94.1. Savannah, being Savannah with the beat, and we are back with Tony Quiraga. Many Accord owners are unable or do not care to spot what makes their cars better than the rest. But that hasn't stopped Honda from treating its bestseller like a flagship. Buying or leasing the car, even if you have a good experience, will certainly be the worst part of Accord ownership. The first is that the Accord combines thousands of parts into one as if they weren't molded, welded, snapped, or glued together, but molded to form a single one-piece device. Accords are better cars than they have to be, better than their owners might demand, a rarity in our consumer economy. But the Accord is always ready when you are. But The Accord is proof that millions can be served and still be served the best. 10 best winners represent 10% of 2014 new car sales. There's the Honda Accord. Eric Tingwall. We put an $80,000 base price cap on 10 best contenders because when it comes to building cars, money can solve most problems. As prices rise beyond that mark, the number of cars approaches zero, and the difference between great and good becomes increasingly. But the behind the driver, and it's to get it wrong. That explains why it seemed unfair to drive Porsche's Boxster and back to back with 50 some other cars that are led by their horses. Admittedly, the Boxster and Cayman easily blow past $80,000 when modernly optioned, but the inherent goodness of these cars is fully realized even at the Boxster's $52,395 base price. It's no surprise that quick corners in the Porsche are led by tight steering, met with deliberate body control, and matched by dogged grip. The steering in the Boxster and Cayman is exceptional, benefiting from the absence of weight on the nose of the car and the electrical assist ability to tailor effort to G's. With the intake positioned behind the driver's left ear, there is no better case to be made for doing without turbocharging. One is the purest way to experience sports car nirvana. The other is both its greatest threat and most worthy successor. The Boxster and Cayman demonstrate immense mutability. The third generation of Porsche's mid-engine platform has also widened the gap between base and S models. If you're expecting straight line performance from these corner hunters, the base cars can be uncomfortably slow. So that was rotation. Now for Gestalt, John Phillips. By the way, Geneva is home to the Large Hadron Collider, which few people realize this, was built entirely by 4 Swiss soldiers with very sharp Swiss Army knives. We say that because this is the 9th consecutive year that the whole Golf family, the Long GTI, as is the case here, both have accumulated 10 best plaudits. The body is vault solid, the platform bomb proof. The turbocharged 1.8-liter gas engine produces only 170 horsepower, but its 200 pound-feet of torque arrives at an accessibly low 1600 RPM, delivering a gratifying mid-range surge. So we're back with Andy Robinson. So regarding winners and losers, we have one loser, and that is Andy Lee House. Andy Lee House of Lufkin, Texas, admitted in court to deliberately launching his 2006 Bugatti Veyron into Galveston Bay in 2009 as part of a scheme to defraud his insurance company. He faces up to 20 years plus being handcuffed to a Mitsubishi Mirage. What I do differently. Don Prodholm, John Perley Huffman. That's both nationals events in 1 year, and that really kickstarted my career. I believe it was 1967. I went to bowl a shirt and uniform in Los Angeles because at the time, no one was making race team shirts. And I think between that and going into the Wins Winder, which was the first dragster I had on my own, we were professional. Man, it didn't get any better than that. But when you're sitting behind one of those fuel burning rails, man, it didn't get any better than that. They can't grow beyond that. But they don't care for any other racing either. And the proof in the pudding is you go to Bakersfield for the California Hot Rod reunion, and all you see are guys my age. The rest is pretty much dialed into the car by the crew chief. And if a guy is late by even a millisecond, the crew would get down at the end of the quarter mile and tell him he's a no good son of a bitch. It was the best. I wish I would have stayed in school and got a better education. Don Pardon. And we're going to go back to Savannah and then finish our news and topics. .1 The Beat. Mary Weatherford. Bakersfield, California has long figured in Mary Weatherford's imagination as the place where her family's car would overheat during road trips to Yosemite National Park. The breakdowns were so frequent they were memorialized in a 2011 short story in the Paris Review by the artist's late sister, who wrote of the station wagon that smelled perpetually of vomit. Then in 2012, Mary returned there for an artist's residency and boned up the history of the place, ultimately creating her breakthrough Bakersfield signature or series. Moody layers of paint lit by neon tubes affixed to the surface. Since 2012, she has shown 2 other series of pictures of places. She prefers not to call them landscapes or abstractions that incorporate neon fixtures. And the visual is her with From the Mountain to the Sea, 2014. Nicole Eisenman. Not that she's entirely forsaken narrative. Recently, Eisenman moved out of the Williamsburg house she shared with her then partner and their 2 children, whose bedroom there is covered with murals she did years ago, and into an apartment nearby. Nicole Eisenman. Photographs, Tim Walker, and with some thoughts by William Middleton, The Surreal World. And this is Joseph Sacco's All Day June finish. So the photography again is Tim Walker. But when it came time to choose an image to represent the show on the posters that will be plastered around the city, passed over the blue chip names and dramatically ancient artifacts in favor of a piece by the virtually unknown 19th century artist Joseph Sacco. They married the following year, and during that intoxicating time in Paris between the wars, took their first steps toward becoming collectors, importing from Moscow an early 16th century Russian Orthodox icon of Saint George slaying the dragon, commissioning a portrait of Dominique by Ernst, buying a painting of Othello, and acquiring a pair of painted bark cloths from New Guinea. But their real artistic education began in 1941 in New York, where they landed after fleeing occupied France. And this necklace and brooch is Isaac Newman's. Same photographer. John eventually became chairman of the board. There is no admission fee. The bookstore has been banished to a bungalow across the street. They presumed art to be good for human dignity, says the Dominos as she makes her way around the museum's oceanic galleries, dressed in a full-length deposit coat. There's a practical magic that shows itself in the exquisite simplicity of each installation. There is nothing to get in the way of a direct relationship between the viewer and the work of art. And that's on news and topics. So what about Miami? 103.5. One oh 3.5. And we're back with our fashion and art showings. 6 for Pampers. Michael Strahan, Metamucil. Photograph, John Kernick. Jennifer Lopez, The Boy Next Door. Jennifer Lopez, Body Lab. Jennifer Lopez, Body Lab, Walgreens, Walmart, CVS Pharmacy. So that was a little fashion and art. And now we go on to our fitness with Courtney Rubin. I was the kid who was too chicken to ride the zip line in summer camp, who stayed behind to watch the bags while everyone else went on the roller coaster, who cycled down a steep hill, well, any hill, squeezing the brakes. Suffice it to say, I'm not exactly a fan of speed or heights, which, coupled with my almost pathological fear of injury, means that my legs were actually shaking as I stood at the top of the bunny slope at Vail Mountain last winter, about to attempt at age 38 my first ever downhill trip on skis. What if I managed to break something? An arm, a leg, my chin, on a slope about as steep as the Florida lowlands where I grew up? My ski instructor told me earlier that morning that in 35 years of teaching, she had seen it all. You are already doing better than most people, she said, when I managed to click into both skis and shuffle across the mountain in a vague approximation of cross country skiing. When it comes to sports, I always expect to be the worst or the wimpiest, and possibly both. But the assignment I had taken was to learn how to ski once and for all, not to perfect my already excellent skills at avoiding it. For years, I have been talking about learning to ski. The truth is that I had begun to give up on ever learning to ski. As I stood on Bell Mountain that day, almost afraid to breathe lest I automatically launch myself down the slope, I searched for any possible pretext I could use not to do this. It was too late to stop myself, so I went all in and pushed hard, as I've been told. I don't know a lot about skiing, but I do know myself. In the 18 hours between lessons, the fear, which was slowly melting away, would solidify again. Courtney Rubin. Lauren Cardarelli, top 10 workout DVDs. And of those, Tony Horton. It doesn't get much better than that, one reviewer said. Raises the bar. Bear Ant Boot Camp. $20. And of the top 10 workout DVDs, now you can and get a good cardio workout, one reviewer said to boot. Dance Sweat Live. The easy to learn choreography is broken down step by step for newbies before each sequence, which allows you to gain confidence in your dancing as if nobody's watching, but hustles along so that you're sweaty by the time you get into the rhythm. Dance Sweat Live. Sweat to Cat Training. Jessica Magala. When the bad behaviors of fellow gym goers, even trainers, threaten to ruin your workout, follow all rules for dealing with annoying offenders so you can keep calm and carve on. Obviously, leaving your tech or treasure in an unlocked locker or out in the open creates a welcoming environment for theft, according to the author of The Little Book of Gym Etiquette. Not having anywhere to put your stuff while getting ready because someone else has taken the entire bench can leave you seething when you're supposed to be de-stressing. You should try a heavier weight. He may have had the best intentions, but he doesn't know your body or background. If someone hasn't taken a proper assessment of you first, you don't need to automatically take his word for what you should be doing better. A personal trainer for peak performance in New York City. You'll work different muscles and switch up your regular routine. Not a bad thing. Recommends using the same techniques that you use during class to bring back a wandering mind. Focus your attention on your breath, how it sounds, what it feels like, or repeat a mantra like calm and strong. Need to bounce early yourself? Clue in the instructor before class. Set up in the back by the door and scoot quietly, ideally during a transition like a drink break. And that's just a little sweaty cat training. And that's our fitness. And speaking of fitness, Miami, again, 103.5. .5. And now time for a little family vibe. Beauty Pulse, Jennifer Aniston. Tracy K. Smith's memoir is shaping up to be one of the year's best. Yet by the end, Smith's latest and most personal work turns out to be one of the most spirited and triumphant reads of the season. Growing up in Northern California as the youngest of 5 children, the author had what appeared to be an idyllic childhood. That tableau shifts when the family matriarch is diagnosed with cancer. I wanted to be able to wander the streets of a city, to disappear into bookstores and movie theaters. I wanted to be able to drink alcohol and kiss boys. Smith won the 2012 Pulitzer Prize in Poetry for Life on Mars, her third collection. A prescient 2011 New York Times review of Mars foreshadowed the towering talent readers would find 4 years later in Ordinary Life. Smith shows herself to be a poet of extraordinary range and ambition. It's not easy to be so convincing in both the grand gesture and the reverent contemplation of a humble plate of eggs. As all the best poetry does, Life on Mars first sends us out into the magnificent chill of the imagination, and then returns us to ourselves, both changed and consolated. Showing an impressive command and confidence of language, Ordinary Light presents a dazzling array of images and that shift between a knowing young girl and an introspective woman. Tracy K. Smith in Ordinary Light. Photography, Chris Kramer, to include Mark Cross, Grace Beck. And a public school coat. Hair has been Derek Scurry with set designer Mary Howard Studio. Food styling, Christine Abano. So we're still family vibing. And ask April. GH's resident beauty authority sifts through the latest buzz to help you get gorgeous. Glide a skinny eyeliner brush through shadow. Trace lower lash line from inner to outer corners. Watch April at goodhousekeeping.com/beautyhowto. And here's Mary Kay Cream Eye Color. 2 years later, he died alone in the Alaskan wilderness, a tragedy that inspired the book Into the Wild. In a new memoir, his sister, Corrine, 43, reveals what she believes drove him to a life of solitude. What's the biggest misconception about him? Later, you also received the backpack he carried with him. What do you think Chris would think of the book? Walking to the bus, looking at the bed where I knew he had died, and just sitting there in that space, the best way I can describe it is good pain. That's the best example I can give you. Your Make It Through Menopause Guide. You toss and turn and wake up before the roosters. The RX Fix. If issues persist, try low-dose melatonin. 1 hour before bedtime, take 1 mg. Or Benadryl, an antihistamine that causes drowsiness to help you achieve a deeper sleep. Many women are shy about broaching the side effects of menopause, like painful sex, with their doctors. Michelle Warren, MD, certified menopause practitioner, North American Menopause Society. And that guide has been by Stacey Colino. And with that, we're going to leave Miami. And since we were family vibing, let's see if we could, family vibe with the beats. So why not 102.3? So 102.3, and we're back with our LL Cool J Hasta La Vista baby song, and it's Big Ol' Butt. The walls taking a break, admiring the girls with the bamboo earrings, baby hair, and bodies built to swing. That's when I seen her. Her name was Grace and poised, kind of like a ballerina. I said, "How you doing? My name's..." Don't ask me how I'm living, cause yo, I'm living swell. But then again, I'm living kind of foul, cause my knows and I'm out on the prowl. Long story short, I got the digits, calls on my car phone, paid her a visit. I was spanking her, thanking her, showing her and doing her. Left because my girl didn't know I was spoiling her, laying like a king on sheets of satin. That's what time it is. You know what's happening. She had a big old booty. I was doing my dude. I mean, yo, I admit that my girl's a cutie, but was erotic. My witness with the kind of legs to put stockings out of business. When I went home, I kissed my girl on the cheek. In the back of my mind, it was this big butt freak. I sat my girl down. I couldn't hold it in. And said to her with a devilish grin, "Got a big old butt. I know I told you I'd be true, but got a big old butt. So I'm leaving you. Got a big old butt. I know I told you I'd be true, but got a big old butt. So I'm leaving you." I went to the high school about 3 o'clock to try and catch a cutie riding my job. My homeboys Jeep, the systems blasting, cold 40 dogs, smiling and laughing. Girls all over, the kind I adore. I felt like a kid in a candy store. That's when I seen her. Her name was, she had the kind of booty that I always remember. I said to her, stop the Jeep. She's only 17, but yo, don't sleep. I kicked the bass like an NF punter and scooped the booty like a big game hunter. I said to the girl, yo, you look tired. Let's go get some rest. Relax by the fire. I put the big booty on a bearskin rug. She gave me a kiss. I gave her a hug. I said to the girl, them young boys ain't nothing. You want to get freaky? Let me kiss your belly button. I circled it and teased it and made a square. Grabbed a pack of bullets and put out the stair. When I was through, rubbed the sweat from my eyes. Went to the kitchen and got some sweet potato pies. Busted in my house while I was eating. You know what I said? Too bad you called machine, but got a big old butt. I know I told you I'd be true, but got a big old butt. So I'm leaving you. Got a big old butt. I know I told you I'd be true, but got a big old butt. So I'm leaving you. I went to Red Lobster for shrimp and steak. One time when the waitress saw on the lunch break, I pulled in the parking lot and parked my car. Somebody shouted out, I don't care who you are. I paid no attention. I walked inside because had a 90 was chilling the ride. I walked in a place everybody was looking. Shrimp and steak wasn't the only thing cooking. I sat down to eat, ordered my food. I said to the waitress, I don't mean to be rude, but I'll take you on a platter. She said, you got a girl? I said, it don't matter. You look like you're tasting them piping hot pizza. What's your name? She said, my tag says. I said, okay. You're smart and all that. When you get off work, yo, I'll be back. She looked at me and said, make yourself clear. Well, what you doing? I said, what here? She looked kind of puzzled. I said, you'll see. I pulled up and said on the DOT. And she walked out the door, threw my tongue down her throat, pushed her back inside, and pulled off a coat, laid on the table, and placed my order, gave her a tip much bigger than a quarter. On and on to the break of dawn. All over the restaurant, word is born. I heard somebody coughing. I checked my watch. I couldn't believe it. It said 9 o'clock. I grabbed my pants, put on my Kango. Who did I see? Oh, yo, it was yo. She worked at Red Lobster, but I didn't remember. Got a big old butt. I know I told you I'd be true, but got a big old butt. So I'm leaving you. See ya. Got a big old butt. I know I told you I'd be true, but got a big old butt. So I'm leaving you. See ya. So that's our Kumbik LL Cool J Hasta La Vista Baby song, Big Old Butts. So, same focus. Um, even when it's something like Big Old Butt. But it's big old butt, so we gotta like big old butt. We got a big old butt. What happens to big old butt? But what if you stay focused on what the focus is, and that like keeps out all of that, drama or hurt. Stay focused on what it is that we're focusing on with Kumbik, Kucha Asta released the baby song, and they just can't get in. So we're gonna go back to the beats. 102.3. So that's 102.3 The Beats. And we are almost finished, a little earlier than regular. So since something that that's here and present, which is the I guess we can kind of discuss, and I guess I can vibe about, and I guess the vibe is definitely up for discussion, but it's the LGBT movement. So what do we do about it? Because one, you definitely don't want to go. We can't go into the perspective of of a group that's whatever you want to call them, like them, whether sick or troublemakers, problem makers, or whatever, money hungry. But because one thing about it is that it was put out there, and there was still a focus on supporting a community liveliness, whether it was grouped, whether it was improperly grouped or not, it was still supporting the liveliness of a community that I'm a part of. And the question is, what if, if it didn't exist, what if there was more harm that was, because of ignorance or exclusion? What if that occurred? So you definitely have to think about the big picture, even when something comes up. And, those that have something wakes up, like John Mayer said, waiting for the world to wake up, and it's something like, LGBT movement nationally or internationally supported, and you're waiting for, you know, the focus or the point of it to actually wake up, to like put a hold on it, rein on it, and bring it together. So it just seems like that was the only thing that was, whether it was not with unity, with the appearance of being with unity or not, it still had that. That was still like the intent. It still seems as though the dominant intent was supporting a community, and preventing harm from ignorance for this community. And is that type of support is wonderful, and it's not saying that it's not needed. It's just not with the unity that's kind of it's just the unity situation with it that is kind of straying away from the LGBT. So what do you do when you have all of these different type of organizations, and they, there was some positive intent, but there was just some misdirection, miseducation. What do you do with that? Do you stop it? Do you ban it? Do you succumb to it? Do you join it? Do you become ignorant and then go again? And do you become ignorant and join it? And then that kind of defeats the whole, that kind of like, what's the point of being a part of it if your ignorance is still with it? LGBT. And before I got into like really getting into how connecting everything with security, I was like, great, LGBT. It seemed like there was security relevancy. I was like, yeah, I could LGBT. But then it's like, okay, well, maybe I can't LGBT. Maybe it's not with my security. Like maybe someone else, it's someone else's. It's what someone else has with security. But we want to keep that stance of no conflict. And that's how we keep unity and keep things united when there aren't any conflicts, when it comes to, organizations and business and specific communities. So, what is here is maybe just doing some songs that could have lent itself to that community, and it served as contributing to it not being in that. The only thing is like what you got to consider, if children that have come from it, like what was being presented with Blue Ivy. What if that's not the only child that has come from that? So it's a lot to consider, not just the movement and just not supporting it, but you have to consider the children, businesses and how that affects community, um, and how all of that intertwines, and how do you keep all of that out of what puts them out of um, togetherness or unity, which is what they're seeking to have, or that community. How do you keep them from what keeps them out of community, to um, and keep them with that intent of um, preventing harm from ignorance or exclusion. So it's that's still there, um, and it's relative to what was vibed about with what's going on with Bobby Christina Brown. So the LGBT community has, and what is going on right now with that has a lot to do with it. So that's another challenge of with regards to that. Um, so let's see what we can find. So I'm thinking I want to get the party started. So let's get the party started. So, and then I'm gonna give all my love to you. Not Whitney Houston, but Keith Sweat. So we're gonna get the party started, and then and I'm going to give all my love to you. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. Get this party started on a Saturday night. Everybody's waiting for me to arrive. Sending out the message to all of my friends. We'll be looking flashy in my Mercedes Benz. I got a lot of style, check my gold diamond rings. I can go for miles if you know what I mean. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. Yeah, breaking down to the beat, cruising through the west side, we'll be tracking the scene. Boulevard is freaking as I'm coming up fast. I'll be burning rubber, you'll be kissing my ass. Pull up to the bumper, get out of the car. Lights and places, stunner, number one superstar. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. Making my connection as I enter the room. Everybody's chilling as I set up the groove. Pumping up the volume with this brand new beat. Everybody's dancing and they're dancing for me. I'm your operator, you can call anytime. I'll be your connection to the party line. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. This party started. Get this party started right now. Get this party started. Get this party started right now. I love you and the night. I wanna take it real slow, babe. Oh my baby, I understand what you told me, and if I didn't know, I always wanted someone just like you. I really need to hold on, hold you. I give the world to you, my darling. You know I will. You know I will, I certainly will. I'll give all my love to you. And if you need me, baby, I'll come running only to you. Yes, I will. Why don't we just lay down, babe, and hold each other real close? 'Cause I don't wanna rush you, baby. No, 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 no. The time is what you need the most. I always wanted to love you. You can make all my dreams come true. And I want to love you, oh my darling. You know I do. Yeah, 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 yeah. I would never do one little thing. I'll give all my love. And if you need me, baby, I'll come running. It's to you, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, my, no, 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 no. Yeah, I love you, baby, for a long, long time. Girl, let's make love tonight. I can make you feel real good, baby. Sometimes, sometimes I get a little lonely, baby. And I need somebody I can hold all night. I need that love, the one for me, baby. I know that you are the one for me, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. I would never do anything to hurt you. I'll give all my love to you. And if you need me, baby, I'll come running only to you. So, how do you, when there is this type of movement that has a level of popularity, how do you keep your work out of it? Like, even when you don't necessarily, even if you're not directly doing anything in that movement or that, uh, how do you do that when that following, or they're the ones that supported it, or nationally or internationally or locally, um, with whatever influence that they have? How do you do that? So because so the point of that question, and the point of this right now, is to um, kind of, so those are two that I kind of did, keeping out of that, out of what, even any attempt to try to pull it in, or so now we're gonna go to see what Bobby Brown has. If there's anything relative. Um, since this is going on right now, why not um, take out some of Bobby Brown? All right, so we're going to "I'll Be Good to You," Bobby Brown. So the first time we met, I told you how it would be. Got a lot of friends that don't nothing to me. Don't need this garbage. I tell you what I'm gonna do. And baby, you know I love you, and I'll be good to you. I'll be good to you. Girl, I need you by my side. I need your loving all the time, but just try to understand me, read me out. I love you, girl, without a doubt, and I'll be good to you. Girl, when you're near me, I shiver and shake. And when your body's next to mine, it makes me want to break. I'll be good to you. You make me feel good. Don't you know that I'll be good, girl? Yeah, yeah. Don't you know I'll be good because I love you? Because, it is relevant to not only, it's like directly relevant. I'm going to do another one. Bobby Brown, I really love you, girl. So I think I have found a girl for me. And she is the only one I need. We fit together like a hand in a glove. And there are never enough moments to make me make love. Can I give you all my loving? 'Cause you're the only one in my life. You and me get such a feeling in my heart and I. Can't you see? I really love my girl. I really, really love you, girl. Yeah. I really love my girl. I really, really love you, yeah. When we go out, we have a real good time. We set a table for two, candlelight dinner and wine. You and me, girl, live as one forever, yeah, yeah. Oh, love was made for you and me, girl. You know we got to be together, yeah. And I get down on my knees, girl. I'm begging you, please, not to leave me all alone. I really love my girl. I really, really love you, girl. Yeah. I really love my girl. Yeah. Dreams are made for. I really, really love you. Yeah, yeah. Dreams are made for those who sleep. Dreams are made for those who weep. But you and me, we belong together, baby. I just want you to be the only one in my life. Don't leave me all alone. I love my girl. I really love my girl. My name. I really love my girl. So I'll be good to you, and I really love you, girl. Um, you know, just to have that focus, for the really need the Georgia that, you know, that has united right now. When it comes to that situation with Bobby Christina Brown. Um, and so yeah, I'll be good to you, and I really love you, girl. So that was our little LGBT, um, for that, just kind of keeping it out of that LGBT. Um, even if it's not something as serious as what's going on, um, with our like togetherness with Bobby Christina Brown. Um, so okay, so I guess the little that I gathered was that alive and breathing, and then was put into a medically induced coma that equals a barbiturate type coma. But I guess the gist of what it is attempting to say or present is that there wasn't any consciousness, like voluntary consciousness of the body, um, and from that they're gathering that there's no brain function, because I guess the assumption is what is there is that the brain communicates with everything else, with your neurological system that moves things like opening the eyes and moving the arms and the lips. That communication, that connection was not there, present, but there was still something there that was live, that couldn't be pronounced dead, but there still wasn't a connection. So what do you suggest when like you get what's going on, um, and our feelings is, and I have no idea what is I'm not there where it's happening or being updated with any doctors or this, that, and the other. But I guess what kind of is coming from it is that when everyone is different, that includes their mind and their processing. Everyone has different makeups. There are some similarities, but there are some differences. And what I don't like about it is when there's a difference, that it's kind of unique. And I guess what shouldn't be there. So this situation needs to be eliminated. If you know that if you don't want the attitude that, okay, well, if I am not, if I have put up something, some type of indicator of when this is who I am. So I have some type of indicator where I'm lively here, and this equals that. This means that I'm alive here, and this equals that I'm dead. I'm not alive here. So that I need an indicator that when something happens like this, where I'm like dead there, I'm not alive there, that I need to not do that or something like that. When there's a situation that there's a complexity that gives you a red flag that you're not alive there, so that's dead. There is an unfairness when it comes to that. If it's something that this person, because you don't have liveliness in this particular situation, the opposite is dead. Or because you're not familiar, you don't have a familiarity with this particular uniqueness, that the opposite equals this. So that situation definitely needs to be eliminated. That there aren't choices being made from, because you're out, or because you're not included, or because whatever your choices kind of are not equaling up to something that keeps you like with liveliness. And it needs to be definitely needs to be eliminated, so that that's not who's trying to be the doctor, because it's like they're going into something where they don't have, and it's like, okay, they don't have liveliness, so that means that this isn't liveliness. So even though we suggested a doctor, there's still some that have that. Maybe you're seeking someone that definitely has that same uniqueness. When it comes to that type of liveliness. So then, since I'm not going this one and that one, then you become the challenge of knowing. That person that has that same uniqueness, knowing that they have that uniqueness, that uniqueness is similar, how that uniqueness is similar to this particular client. So you ask, well, why don't you just keep on in this situation until, who knows, completes medical school, so then they could be a licensed doctor and have that, and go in and, is that sensible? So that's a question. It's definitely, I know that's definitely in my path, but it's not, I don't have that license now. but I definitely get what's going on because it's directly impacting. It's directly related to the situation that um, you know that's going on right now um, with UN 2020 and um, you know bringing borns with who they're supposed to be with. It's just this specific one is kind of uh, specific to what I have with bringing borns together. Um, that's the only difference. So yeah, stay in this situation until since the uh, I complete medical school. I have a license. Uh, is that the proper resolve? To reject, this medical professional that's there now, and then oh yeah, I have I'm focused on one particular medical school, one particular area. Whether I move out of the country, whether I go West Coast, it's still here. Like this is the medical school that is clearly, if I do medical, this is where those the type of things that I have. Like it's clearly this one. It's non-competitive. One bachelor's school. It was non-competitive. Didn't apply anywhere else. Just that one school. It's the same with medical school. So willing to travel all the way to the East Coast and be within that situation for licensing. And no, well, you're welcome. But that is the school for me. Um, just because it's very difficult to find a medical school that coincides with, that doesn't have a conflict with being UN born, and that's the only one, and that's why. So now we're getting at our out of network spotlight. To wow, to share a moment because I celebrate with food, to carry on traditions, why I cook for the holidays, to bring us together, to share with family because food is comforting, to show my love. Whatever the reason, whatever the dish, make it delicious with Swanson. Broths and stocks for perfect gravy, stuffing, and more. You can find recipes at swansonwhyacook.com. Our out of network spotlights is Swanson. So that has been our show. So I did open it up with regards to the where to settle. Um, you know, and it's kind of like uh, whatever I have has kind of, I feel as though has been placed there. So um, I feel as though they're prepared for who I am. And but the only thing with that is that the only other thing that's here is with the celebrity merging with security, and having you see the shows ER, you see the shows of practice, you shows Grey's Anatomy, but where you're like I mentioned before, where they are actually where Catherine is actually you know, in that field, maybe not a doctor, but you know, when they are actually like working in that particular field. Um, so that's kind of the thing. So it's like, you know, me in that type of environment on contributing to public, um, just because we kind of like walk who we are, you know. So like contributing to that with television and um, medical school. So not just reading a script, uh, but that's the East Coast. So this has been a Late Late Show with BT. Bye.